This is that harness that he bought. He bought it mainly just because he was going to try this himself and figured this would help him out. And in this case, it's not like it's not going to help us out. Use parts of it to do what we want. So I'm going to get this all peeled back, cut this out of the harness because we don't need this whole harness. And I'm going to remove 2 pins out of this end here to go into this where the data wires are behind the radios. That was that purple, red, and the black, white wires here that were T-tapped in. Went ahead and pulled it out and tried to get it to clip into this harness. The pins are slightly different, so it won't lock in place. So what that means is we're pretty much done with this. We will keep this harness though, and we'll set this aside. Grab one of these. I believe this is a Toyota plug. I might have some scrap ones of these. Let me check my bin. So I found the spare parts that I think I need. This is from a Toyota. We have a lot of these left over from doing the Toyota harnesses, and remove 2 wires out of here and see if they fit. All right, that one fits a little better. Now we have all the pieces in place, so that all we have to do is plug everything out. All the T-taps are in the car. We'll go ahead and pull out, fix those wires if they're damaged. Done. So what we got going on here is obviously we have the Maestro piece over here, which we're going to make a mount for to go underneath the radio so that he can get to this USB, which we'll talk about in a minute. Here is our OBD2 plug-in. Have our connectors right here that we can plug into this, so that'll be good. This is gonna plug into that harness to give us the reverse trigger. We have the main harness here. Here's all our wires to go off to our amplifier. We have the backup camera in and ready to go, so that'll plug in, and of course the data connection. Now what we want to do, here's the radio and the mount. Take this guy and mount it like this so that he can just plug in his USB right here, and that way all the wires will reach and go in behind. What I'm gonna do is take a measurement here, 2.5 by 7, cut a piece of 1/2 inch plastic, and then I'm gonna tunnel a groove in it so that this will mount this right here, and there's screw holes here on the side, these. Screw it right in, and that'll lock that thing in place. I'm gonna take it back over to the bench. I'm gonna mark where my tunnel needs to be, and then we'll bring it back over to the saw and make a U-cut in this. Notched it. Let's take it back over there and see how it fits. It fits pretty good. Add a couple pieces of foam to this guy here so that this doesn't want to slide around. It'll lock it in place, and we'll get the thing screwed into the side. This guy is mounted. It clears the radio bezels we just saw. He'll be able to plug into this USB right here once he takes that off. That's all he wants. This is cool. This is all good. So I'm gonna get an amp mount made. First thing we want to do is get this seat out. To get the seat out and lift these guys up here, there's one over here on this side, and there's 2 more in the back here. Tip this seat back so that we can figure out what we need to build to hold this amplifier. Now, a lot of the times how these pieces are gonna come off have 2 forms of clips. You just kind of pop them from the side, and then they usually slide back because there's usually a 3rd clip here. Fernando and I have talked about it, and his plan, because this amplifier is a great amp because it's so small, but it's thin and long, and they have this that gets in the way, and this is just a weird place to put this underneath the seat in this particular car, but this is where he wants it. What we're thinking about doing is I'm gonna make a ABS piece that comes this way and across. It's gonna be kind of L-shaped, and it's gonna bolt underneath here, and then it's gonna come up into this area, and we're gonna have a riser that comes up to attach to this bar here, because this bar doesn't move, and that way that'll be our 2 contact points to keep this amplifier nice and firm and secure. Our signal wires are going to come out this side. Our power wires are going to come out this side. I might flip the amp. I don't know yet. I kind of want to flip it and have the power on this side because the power is going to go out that way anyways, and the RCAs need to come up here. Yeah, I'm gonna flip it. I want it this way. There's these cuts here, and there's more cuts back up in there for wire to run in, and this is gonna be a shorter run from here up into the dash. That way our power and ground won't have to crisscross. Cut this piece out, get this mocked in here so that we can get this wiring done. So this is what we've come up with. This guy right here is that piece we were talking about. The notch lips up underneath this, and then of course we have the L over here, and this just slides in like this. This sits down on top of it, and the amplifier just is gonna go just like this. Power wire will run that way, bigger wires, RCAs and everything else will go up that way. So we have that done. Now I know I didn't like film that part of it. I'm sorry. You guys have seen me build an amp board before. I think the finished product is usually the better part of it. Let's get this over to the workbench. Let's get the amp mounted on it. Let's get some wires run. Let's get this thing in the car. What I want to do is get this under the seat here where it's going to go, and then I'm going to go up to the front so that I can run the wires the way they need to go, because there's plenty of slits in the carpet up here that all this stuff can run through. So now I'm going to slide the seat back, go up to the front, and we'll start running all our wires. Get the back seat out because we have the sub wire that's going to go back here. Most back seats, there's just a latch that you pull up on, but don't just assume that's what there is. Feel around in there for the latch, because some of them have latches that you turn, some of them have latches that you just pull out, and then this just pops right up. Be careful, you don't want to break the latches that hold the seat in place. Plenty of of spaces here to run this wire through. There's tons of gap. There's a clip here that goes right here. I undid it so that I could fold the seat back. There's also a threaded bolt right here that we can use as a ground. We'll sand this paint away. But right now what I want to do is Fernando's waiting for me to put this through the firewall and run the power wire first. Luckily this car is an automatic. We were able to drill through where the factory clutch is. Here there's this bracket right here, and right here in the corner we could drill a hole for the power wire. Amplifier is in and connected. All the wires are run. Our ground is in place. All we need to do is put this clip back under here where it was. There's our ground. And then we can set the seat down, bolt it back in, because all the adjustments can actually be done from the back side.